Good day to all of you. Welcome to EC Physics. Learn physics as easy as 1, 2, 3. Through this video, we will discuss about electrostatic field. Before watching this video, make sure that you've already watched part 1 of electrostatics, in which we discussed about frictional electricity, properties of electric charge, and Coulomb's law of electrostatics. To start with, what is an electric field? See, in Coulomb's law of electrostatics, we studied that if two charges are kept nearby, say for example, if there is a charge Q1 and another charge Q2, which are kept at a distance r between each other, then a force will be experienced on both of them, right? But if you keep on increasing the distance between the charges, after a certain distance, the force cannot be felt by these charges, right? So for every charge, it basically depends on the strength of the charge. For every charge, there is a space or a region around which we will be able to experience the electrostatic force. So if any test charge is placed, there is a limit up to which the force can be felt. So the space or the region around a charge where the electrostatic force can be experienced, that region or space is called as electric field. So this is a qualitative understanding of what is electric field. Electric field is nothing but a region or a space around a charge, or it could be around a system of charges also, within which another charge can experience electrostatic force. We will have to derive an equation for electric force, electric field, because in physics, everything has to be quantitatively measured. Before going to the quantitative measurement of what is electric field, to understand the properties of electric field, we can use some geometrical means. That is, by using some lines or curves, we will be able to study the nature of electric field, the comparative understanding of strength of electric field and direction of electric field. So for that, we use a term called electric lines of force. It is otherwise known as electrostatic field lines. So these lines of force, they do not exist really, but they are imaginary lines. So electric lines of force are the imaginary lines. It could be straight lines or curved lines based on the nature of charge or nature of system of charges, along which a unit positive charge is supposed to move. So if you keep a unit positive charge, the direction in which that charge will be moving, if you draw those directions together, it becomes an electric line of force. So electric lines of force are the imaginary lines along which a unit positive charge will be moving. Electric lines of force, as I told you, it could be a straight line like this, or it could be a curved line like this. From the electric line of force, we will be able to find out the direction of electric field. Electric field is actually a vector quantity, as we studied about electrostatic force. Force and field, both of them are vector quantities. They do require a direction for its representation. To find out the direction of electric field by using electric lines of force, there is a small technique. The technique is nothing but, if it is a straight line, direction of electric field and direction of line of force is going to be the same. You just can draw the line parallel to the line of force. Whereas if the electric line of force is a curved line, then at every point on the line, if you draw a tangent, it will give you the direction of electric field. So if you want to find out the direction of electric field at this point, draw a tangent. Or if you want to find out the direction of electric field at this point, draw a tangent at that point. So tangent at the point on any curved electric line of force will give you the direction of electric field. So this is one property, how to find out the direction of electric field from line of force. Now let's see what are the different shapes for electric lines of force based on different types of electric charge. Let's start with a point charge. Point charge can be of two types. One could be a positive point charge and second could be a negative point charge. Electric lines of force can be drawn in two ways. One is by using vectors and another one is by using just lines. So first I'll show you how to draw electric lines of force by using vectors. This, imagine Q greater than 0 means it is a positive charge. So if you keep a unit positive charge, a very small positive charge, obviously the charge is going to move away from the positive charge because one positive charge and another positive charge will experience repulsion. So if you take, according to the definition of electric lines of force, it is the imaginary lines along which a unit positive charge will be moving. So if you keep one positive charge, it will move away from the positive charge because they repel each other, right? So this is one kind of representation, as you can see here, in which there are many arrow marks. It is a collection of vector lines actually. Okay, so here around the positive charge there are so many vectors. This is one vector and this is another vector, this is third vector, like that. So many vectors are there, and as you can see, when we move away from the positive charge, the length of these vectors are reducing, which means from the length of the vector we will understand how strong an electric field at that point. As you can see, near the charge, the length of the vectors are bigger. See, this is a bigger vector. Whereas as you move away from the charge, the length of the vector will become lesser. So greater the length of the electric field vector, then stronger will be the electric field at that point. So this is one representation. It is by using some vectors. If you want to draw this kind of representation for Q less than 0. Q less than 0 means it is a negative charge. So obviously, if you keep a unit positive charge, it will try to move towards a negative charge because negative and positive charges will attract each other. So this is going to be the shape of electric lines of force due to a negative charge by using vector representation. But it is very rare that we use vector representation, but instead we use certain lines or curves only. So electric lines of force, the common representation of electric lines of force is going to be this way. Around a positive charge, you can draw straight lines and represent only one arrow mark. As you can see, all the arrow marks are representing moving away from the positive charge. So direction of electric lines of force is going to be away from positive charge and it will be towards negative charge. So these two are the common representations of electric lines of force just by using line. The first one represent electric, these two represent electric lines of force by using field vectors. Hope both these diagrams are clear. We'll move on to the representation of electric lines of force due to system of charges. This is due to point charges. System of charges means, first let us talk about unlike charges. A system of two equal and opposite charges are called dipole. We will discuss about dipole in detail in one of our forthcoming videos. Now, dipole is nothing but a system of two equal and opposite charges. So let's take one positive charge and one negative charge. It represents a dipole. As you know, direction of electric field lines is going to be away from positive and towards negative, and its geometrical shape is going to be this. As you can see, the lines of force are having a compression here, contraction, right? They are contracting, isn't it? So this kind of contraction of electric lines of force represent attraction between the charges. And for finding the electric field at any point, see, suppose if you want to find out the electric field at this point, draw a tangent. Along the tangent will be the direction of electric field. Here you can see, as I told you, the lines of force are contracting, which means it represents attraction between the two charges. If you want to draw the lines of force due to like charges, pair of equal charges, say for example, I'm taking two positive charges here, plus Q and plus Q. The electric lines of force are going to have this like of a geometry. As you can see here, the lines of force are having a lateral pressure. A lateral pressure, which means they extended like this. So this represents repulsion between the two charges. Hope the geometrical representation of lines of force due to dipole and two positive charges are very clear to all of you. Let's move on to the next fourth one. It is how to represent electric lines of force due to uniform electric field. Uniform electric field is having more relevance because we'll be using this representation in many places. Uniform electric field can be represented by using equidistant parallel straight lines, as you can see here. And obviously, direction will be away from positive plate and it will be towards negatively charged side. After seeing all these electric lines of force for various types of charges, we have discussed about positive charges, negative charge, systems of charges, and uniform electric field. From this, we can make certain conclusions about the properties of electric lines of force. Let's see them one by one. The first property is, obviously, they do not exist really. They are imaginary lines. So this is the first property, as everybody knows. Second is, unit positive charge placed in the electric field tends to follow the path, because by definition, electric line of force is the path along which a unit positive charge is placed. Suppose if you keep a unit positive charge, it will move along the path. So this is the second property. Third one is, electric lines of force emanate from positive charge and terminate on a negative charge. Start from positive and ends at negative. Fourth one is, as I told you, if you have a curved electric line of force, and if you want to find out the direction of electric field at any point on the line, then it will be along the tangent. So you just can draw a tangent at the point. Here we go with the electric field direction. So this is the fourth property. Now the next property is two lines of force. In fact, this is one of the very important property of electric line of force. Two lines of force do not intersect each other. Suppose if they intersect each other, what happens? See, I'm representing two lines of force. They do intersect. It is not possible, obviously, but if they intersect each other, there is a point of intersection, right? At the point of intersection, with respect to one curve, you can draw one tangent. With respect to the second curve, you can draw another tangent, which means at the point of intersection, you are having two directions of electric field represented this way. This is going to be one direction and this is going to be the second direction. But it is not practically possible for an electric field at one single point to have two directions, because electric field should have unique direction. So cross section of two lines of force is not possible at all. So electric lines of force do not intersect each other at any point. This is one important property of electric line of force. Go to the next property, that electric lines of force are closer where the electric field is stronger. Suppose you are given with the electric lines of force due to two charges. Say, for example, electric field due to capital Q is this, and electric field due to small q is this. By comparing the closeness of the electric lines of force, you will be able to identify which charge is bigger or which electric field is stronger. Closeness, if the curves are more closer, which means electric field is stronger. So here we can conclude that capital Q is greater than small q. So this is another property. Going to the next property, electric lines of force are perpendicular to the surface. No matter how the shape of the conductor is. Suppose if you have a conductor this way, it is positively charged, the lines of force will be perpendicular to it. If you're having another irregular shape, it is also connected, charged with positive charge, means the direction will be always perpendicular to the surface. Electric lines of force contract lengthwise to represent attraction between the two unlike charges, and they exert lateral pressure to represent repulsion between the two charges. This also we have discussed while discussing the shape of field lines due to dipole and pair of like charges, right? The next property is the number of lines per cross-sectional area perpendicular to the field line is directly proportional to the magnitude of the intensity of electric field in that region. This is one another important property. By knowing the number of field lines passing through an area, we'll have an idea about electric field. It is not going to be equal to electric field, but it is proportional to electric field. We'll study about this in detail when we discuss one another property of electric charge. It is called electric flux. We'll be discussing about it in detail in one of our forthcoming videos. Now going to the next property, electric lines of force do not pass through a conductor, which is called electrostatic shielding effect, which you might have studied in smaller classes, that while in a lightning place, it is always better to be inside a car than standing outside, standing on an open ground. The reason is electric lines of force and hence the electric charge will not be accumulating inside a metallic conductor. So electric lines of force, if they are passing, they do not pass through conductors, whereas electric lines of force do pass regularly through an insulator. So that is going to be the last property of electric lines of force. So I hope it is very, very clear. All of you understood what are electric lines of force, how to draw different types of electric lines of force due to different types of charges and systems of charges. And we discussed different properties of electric lines of force. Each one of them are important. Coming to the quantitative analysis of electric field, which is nothing but electric field strength, or we call it as electric field intensity or simply electric field. All these terms are representing the quantitative representation of electric field. By definition, it is going to be the force per unit positive charge acting on a small positive test charge. For example, with an example, it becomes very easier. If you have a charge, say plus Q, in order to find out or in order to measure the electric field at a point, you need to keep a very small positive test charge. We call it as plus Q0. It is a very, very small charge and it has to be positive in nature. By using this test charge, measure what is the force at that point. So by definition, electric field is the force per unit charge, unit positive charge acting at that point. If you have a negative charge, you can again test with the positive charge itself, but the direction of force will be different. It is going towards minus Q, right? So that in order to find out the electrostatic field at a point, you need to take a test charge. It has to be positive in nature and measure force per charge. According to Coulomb's law, we already studied equation for force is K Q1 Q2 by R square. K means it is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. Hope all of you remember that equation. So to find out electric field, we can use the equation F by delta Q, where the test charge has to be vanishingly small as possible. Okay. So electric field, from this, we will get an expression for electric field due to point charge as 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q by R square into R cap. R cap is a unit vector. It gives you direction of electric field. Hope it is very clear. Keep this mathematical formula in your mind. It is very, very important to keep this formula, to study this formula in order to solve problems in electrostatics. E is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon 0 R square. Hope everybody remember what is the value of 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. It is nothing but 9 into 10 raised to 9. Clear? So we have come to a mathematical formula to find out what is the value of electric field It can be found out by using the equation Q by 4 pi epsilon 0 r square. But electric field is a vector quantity. So knowledge of only the value is not going to give you the correct answer. In order to describe electric field completely, you need to have the direction also. So to find out direction of electric field, let us use this property that since Q0 is taken positive, electric field direction is going to be the direction of electric force itself if Q0 is taken positive. Electrostatic force on a negatively charged particle will be opposite to the direction of electric field. So simply we can keep this in our mind that direction of electric field will be always away from positive charge and it will be towards negative charge. So this is going to be the direction of electric field due to any positive charge will be away from the charge, due to negative charge is going to be towards the charge. So it is an easier way to remember what is the direction of electric field. Now SI unit of electric field is going to be Newton per Coulomb because we studied E is equal to F by Q. Force is Newton and Q is Coulomb, Newton per Coulomb. And it has got one more unit, it is volt per meter. How electric field is having a unit volt per meter, we can discuss only after discussing one another property. It is called electrostatic potential, about which we will be discussing in one of our forthcoming videos. So I hope today's topic is very clear to all of you. We discussed about the quantitative and qualitative analysis of electric field, electric lines of force, mathematical expression for field, direction of field, and the SI unit in which electric field can be measured. Hope all of you enjoyed studying this topic of physics. Before we conclude, I will give you one more small topic. It is how to graphically represent, because graphical representation is also very important while studying physics. How to represent electric field graphically as a function of distance. For that, we can take distance along the y-axis, distance along the x-axis and electric field along the y-axis. Since E is inversely proportional to r square, inversely proportional, the graph will be an exponentially decreasing graph. So this will be the shape of electric field versus distance graph. Hope it is clear to all of you. Thank you for watching. Have a great day ahead.